Is BYD a better investment than Tesla? Is Tesla going back to the 500s, to the 100s, to the 50 cents? Is BYD going to be king as everyone's saying now that BYD has surpassed Tesla in production and delivery? Is Tesla's time over and is BYD's? Or is this all FUD, rumor, and talk? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be doing BYD versus Tesla 2030 stock price prediction, and let's see who's gonna have the most return. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, then you already know that I'm going all in into Tesla, but it's gonna be very interesting to see how BYD is going to compete with Tesla as we go forward, because personally, in my humble opinion, man, I do believe that BYD is a competitor to Tesla. I know, don't attack me, man. I understand the competition right now isn't really real for Tesla unless we go fully EV. I fully understand that. But in terms of scale and volume and deliveries, BYD is up there, man. They're doing pretty darn good. But there is a but here. Just because they're doing darn good, it doesn't mean they're going to give you the best return in the future. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how BYD would do and how Tesla would do. And let's see which one is going to the flipping moon, man. Yeah, let's go. Just don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, man. Let's go, man. So as you guys can already see, this is the same chart we used for Apple versus Tesla stock. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that, that was an epic video, man. Check it out. Absolutely epic. But this is the exact same chart for Tesla. I didn't really change anything. The only thing that's different here is the BYD stock chart here. That's it. That's the only difference. But first, let's quickly go through Tesla first because all the numbers are here already, as you guys can see. So it's a lot easier to find out what the stock price is right now. All we gotta do is just put in the PE and we'll get the stock price. So as you guys can see, in 2022, I said they're gonna deliver 1.4 million vehicles. Although in my previous video, if you guys haven't checked it out, we guessed the Q3 delivery numbers. Check it out over here if you guys wanna know what the number is. It was absolutely crazy what the number is going to be. But keeping things a lot more conservative, I kept that at 1.4 million vehicles just in case, which most likely we are not gonna see this number. We're gonna see a whole lot and bigger number if you guys watched that previous video. But let's just say 1.4 million vehicles they delivered in 2022. With an average selling price of $57,000 per vehicle and a total net income of 15% in 2022, we get over $82 billion in revenue and over $13.5 billion in net income. I gave it a PE of 90. Most likely if they hit 1.4 million and these numbers, the PE would probably range around 90. And with a PE of 90, we get $11.72 per share with an adjusted 3-for-1 stock split, $391. Over $1.2 trillion. So sheesh, that's absolutely insane. Now obviously if they do more than 1.4 million this year, well, the PE most likely will be more, and 100 PE doesn't seem that unrealistic because we are over 100 PE at the moment. But if we reach that number, over 1.4 million vehicles delivered, the revenue is more, then the income is more. Most likely investors will reward the stock, probably buy more and be more bullish towards it because it'll be a shock to everyone, even me, if they do over 1.4 million. 100 PE isn't that unrealistic, and with 100 PE we get $1,300 per share, just north of that. So sheesh. But keeping it conservative, putting it back to 90 PE, $11.72 per share, or $391 post-split 3-for-1. I think that's reasonable. Now let's say, guys, for example, let's just say that in 2022, at the end of it, when the stock price is $11.72, you decide to invest $10,000 in there. Not now, but at the end when the price is $11.72. You're curious to know what your year-over-year return will be from now till 2030. You're not gonna contribute more, you're not gonna take out, you're just gonna leave it and see how far it's going to grow. Well, my friends, we're gonna do that right now. If they deliver 1.4 million vehicles in 2022, most likely because they were held back because there was a Shanghai factory closure. If there was no Shanghai factory closure, easy 1.5 million this year, easy. But in 2023, if we expect and suspect that there won't be any shutdowns or any upgrades or whatever, they can do 60%. So making loss for that 2022 shutdown. And with a 60% growth, that's 2.4 million vehicles delivered, which each vehicle sold at an average of $55,000 and a total net income of 18% from that revenue. We get 127, almost $128 billion in revenue and over 25 billion in net income. I give it a PE of 75 for 2023, and we get a stock price of $17.92 with an adjusted 3-for-1 stock split of $600. Market cap almost 2 trillion. And let me tell you guys something. No energy. Very little FSD I have here. FSD is a lot more than this, but barely any FSD here. Only a little touch of FSD. No Tesla insurance, no robots, no any other flippin' products that these guys have, superchargers, man, they're not even included in here, which they will roll out as we go forward and will obviously increase the price even higher. So we're only going based on the vehicles and a little bit of the FSD. And that's it. Sheesh, look at the investment. Over 15,000, man. Over 50% in 2023. Even though you bought at almost at the peak of 1172. I mean, that's absolutely insane. In 2024, I suspect they'll continue growing to 50% year-over-year growth for their vehicle deliveries, and that's over 3.3 million vehicles delivered. Again, with an average vehicle sold of $55,000, because think about it, Cybertruck's coming out, it's probably gonna be around average between $50,000 to $60,000. The $25,000 or $30,000 compact car is still not gonna be out by 2025. You got semis, potential roadster, but mainly Cybertruck. That's what I'm betting on. Mainly Cybertruck, and I still see a high demand for Tesla by then. So I say 55,000 per vehicle by 2024 makes sense. That would give us almost $193 billion in revenue, and in terms of net income, 20% out of the revenue, we get almost $43 billion. I get a PE of 65 here, and we get a stock price of $25.67. Adjusted 3-for-1 stock split, we get $8.56, almost $2.8 trillion market cap. And now your investment is almost $22,000. Like, dude, look at that. Almost another 50%. That's absolutely insane. In 2025, I do suspect them to grow at a 50% rate again. Over 5 million vehicles delivered. Each vehicle will cost about $52,000, which would give us a total revenue of almost $276 billion. Obviously, there's a little bit of FSD sales in there as well. And in the net income, total net income of 23% out of the revenue, we get $70.5 billion in net income. Absolutely insane. I gave it a PE of 55, and we get a stock price of $3,500, just a bit north of that. Just a 3-for-1 stock split, 1171. Expect another stock split by then if we get this number by 2025. Even in 2024, actually, if we had around 856 or 1,000s, we can expect another stock split. My guess is probably another 4-for-1. That's my opinion. But with this stock price, we get almost $3.9 trillion, and now your investment is almost turned to $30,000. Like, sheesh, man. You've tripled your money almost. Absolutely crazy. Moving on to 2026, I reduced the 50% growth year over year to 40% growth. And in 2026, I do suspect them rolling out with a compact car as well, but full effect will be closer to near end of this decade, and we'll see in a sec. But in 2026, every single car they sell is gonna be around $48,000 on the average, which would give it around almost $360 billion in revenue. Obviously, FSD is also included here as well. A total net income of 25% out of the total revenue, we get over $101 billion. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Obviously, there's a little bit of FSD profit margin in there as well, but still over 100 billion, absolutely crazy. Mad. I gave it a PE of 45, which I highly doubt by 2026 will even be at 45. Most likely will still be at 50 plus, but keeping things conservative, 45 PE, we get a Tesla stock price over $4,000 per share with an adjusted 3-for-1 stock split, $13.50, and a market cap over $4.5 trillion. Congratulations. Your investment now is almost at $35,000. Not bad. I mean, that's still growing, absolutely crazy. In 2027, still going strong at a 40% year-over-year growth. We get almost 9.9 million cars delivered. Crazy. Average selling cost per vehicle drops down from 48 to 45,000, and we get over $477 billion and a net income with 25%. With FSD included as well, $137 billion. Just over that. Absolutely crazy. I mean, jeez. 30% growth in net income that year from 2026 to 2027. I'm just looking at the numbers, man. If you go from 100 billion to 137 billion in a single flipping year, in just 1 year, crazy. Crazy. Giving it a PE of 40, which again, I really highly doubt that 40 will even be in 2027, man. They're gonna have other stuff going on that 40 is just gonna be laughable. But with a 40 PE, we get a stock price of $47.87, and just a 3-for-1 stock split, we get $15.96, over $5.5 trillion in market cap. Your investment now is almost 41,000 per share. Crazy. From 10 grand to 40 grand within 5 years. That's insane. You quadrupled your money in like 5 years, man. 4 or 5 years. Insane. In 2028, again, I said they're still going to grow 40% or deliver 40% year over year, and we get almost 14 million vehicles delivered. Total revenue per each vehicle. Now here is where the Model 2 or the compact car, whatever they want to call it, is going to come into play, and we get an average selling price per each vehicle at $40,000, which would give us a total revenue of almost $603 billion with a net income I left it at 25% for 2028, 2029, and 2030, and this would give us almost 180 billion in net income. Absolutely crazy with a 35 PE, which is absolutely ridiculous, but keeping things conservative and keeping things more on a bear side, I guess you can say. We get a stock price of 53.63. An adjusted 3-for-1 stock split, we get 17.88, and a market cap almost $6.3 trillion. Your investment now is turned almost to $46,000 from 10 grand to 46 within 6 years. I mean, crazy, absolutely crazy. In 2029, I suspect the growth will slow down a bit because the numbers get too large. It doesn't make sense. It's just not sustainable to grow at a 50% growth rate year over year. So 30% growth year over year from 2028 to 2029. We get almost 18 million vehicles delivered. Each vehicle costs on the average of $35,000 because the compact car is out and that's going crazy. And we get a total revenue almost of $700 billion. Net income of 25%. With a little bit of FSD here, we get almost 217 billion with a PE of 30, which is a joke. We get about 5,442 bucks per share, and an adjusted 3-for-1 stock split, we get 1814. Market cap over $6.5 trillion. Your investment now only gain maybe $1,000, maybe a bit less, but again, a 30 PE. Yeah. In 2030, I kept it at 20 million because that's their goal. Most likely, if they continue the way their growth, it'll be above 23 million vehicles. But let's just keep it at 20 million to be conservative. And, you know, they won't do more than that. They won't do less than that. 20 million. With an average selling price per vehicle of $35,000, we get the 784 billion. And with a 25% in income out of the revenue, we get almost $250 billion flipping dollars. Crazy. With a PE of 30. Yeah, anyways, with a PE of 30, we get over $6,000 per share, 6102 to be exact. Adjusted 3-for-1 stock split, we get over 2,000 bucks per share, and a market cap $7.5 trillion. Absolutely crazy. But what's crazy is just look at that. Your total investment now has turned to over $52,000 from 10K to 52K plus. Absolutely crazy. Over 500%, 521% to be exact. That's absolutely insane, man. Like, sheesh. Now, let's see if BYD can beat 500%. Let's see if they can do it. So, are you ready? Smash that like button then. Let's go. So in BYD, not BYOD, damn it. But BYD is a Chinese company. And if you guys look at their financials online, it's in Chinese yen. So what I did here is that I converted everything to US dollars. It's a whole lot easier and the right way to do it. So as we can see here in total revenue in 2020, they did $23 billion in revenue, which is actually pretty not bad, but the net income was lacking a lot at $500 million, which, you know, is actually not that bad. When we look at Tesla's in 2020, they did 31.5 billion in total revenue and net income was 721 million. I mean, that doesn't seem too far off from BYD. I mean, that's not bad at all. But let's look at 2021. In 2021, they did about 31.8 billion in total revenue and a net income 642 million. If you compare that to Tesla's, well, it's a whole different story. Tesla was 53.8 billion and over 5.5 billion in net income. So that's absolutely crazy.
But Pejjy, man, they were at 50 billion and BYD is at 30 million, man. Like, come on.
All right, fine. You're right, man. You're right. Let's see what the forecast is from 2022 all the way to 2025 based on Simply Wall Street's, and let's put that in. These are the numbers that they got, and these are the numbers we're going to go forward. In 2022, this year, they said they're going to end off the year by $52.3 billion. So, okay, that's pretty much 2021's of Tesla. Let's see what their total net income will be. Just over $1.1 billion. Yeah, so that argument doesn't exist. Sorry. This means that Tesla is about 4 to 5 times more profitable than BYD. So, you already know it's getting interesting. And you already may know what may happen at the end of this video. But let's not judge and let's see what actually happens. In 2023, Simply Wall Street said that they're gonna do over 70 billion in total revenue and they're gonna do almost 1.8 billion in total net income, which honestly, year over year is not bad. That's literally a 50% growth year over year from 2022 to 2023. So that's actually pretty good. And the final year that Simply Wall Street is predicting for BYOD, because obviously we can't predict that long in the future, they're predicting in 2024 they should do $83.15 billion and net income almost heading at $2.5 billion. So again, another 50% growth year over year in the net income. That's what's important here. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal if they do that. However, what we do see here is that BYD is losing momentum year over year in terms of growth. They're only saying that from 2023 to 2024, they're only going to grow in revenue in 17%. The year prior to that was 35% and then 64% prior to that. And prior to that was 38% from 2020 to 2021 growth. So what I did was that I was a bit more optimistic for BYD, and I said that from 2025 to 2026, they're gonna grow 30%, and these are the numbers that we get. Over 140 billion in 2026. Not bad. In 2027 to 2028, 25% year over year growth, and we get almost $220 billion in 2028. That's actually not bad at all. And the rest of the years, 2029 to 2030, we get 20% growth year over year, and we finish off 2030 over $316 billion. Not bad. Comment down below if you guys agree, because at the end of the day, man, BYD is a car company. Tesla is not a car company. By 2030, Tesla most likely is going to be more of an AI company. They're going to be doing more of the full self-driving, probably working on some robots and some other cool innovating stuff, because that's what Tesla is, an innovating company. They just make stuff. So that's why comparing BYD to Tesla is a bit, not a good idea, but it's fun to do so because they both have electric vehicles and BYD is kind of behind Tesla. So that's actually pretty cool. Now, moving on to the net income. The net income is pretty darn interesting because as we see here, they're growing at a 50% rate year over year too. So that's pretty darn interesting. From 2020 to 2021, their net income jumped 43%. And then in 2022, if they finish off with 1.65 billion, that's an 81% jump. Absolutely crazy. From 2022 to 2023, that's 53% increase. And from 2023 to 2024, that's a 36% increase. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So let's continue and give BYD, come on Page, BYD, benefit of the doubt that they're gonna grow 50% year over year for 2025 and 2026. And these are numbers that we get. Then it'll drop down to 40% for 2027 and 2028 and 30% in 2029 and 2030. We get over $18 billion in net income in 2030. That's actually not bad at all. Like, sheesh, not bad. You know, from, what is it now? Let's just say they're going to finish the year off with 1.1 billion. That's an 18x in revenue. I mean, that's insane. That's absolutely crazy. I mean, obviously not as crazy as Tesla. I mean, just look at that, a 13.5 billion to almost $250 billion. I mean, that's a whole different ball game, but 18x is still really good. Shares outstanding in 2022, after doing some calculations, they're about 1.75 billion in shares outstanding, and they are doing buybacks, surprisingly. BYD is doing buybacks. I mean, they kind of have to do buybacks because you got Warren inside, so, you know, I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett wants his money. So they better be doing some sort of buybacks, and it's interesting because they also do dividends too. So, yeah, I guess Warren is doing stuff. But I said every single year they're gonna buy back 1% of their outstanding shares, and by 2030 they'll give us over 1.6 billion in outstanding shares. EPS follows that as well, and now we're going to the stock price, which is the PE. So are you ready, man? Yo, smash that like button, man, because it's gonna get interesting. Is BYD gonna be beating Tesla? Comment down below. What do you guys think, man? All right, let's go see what's gonna happen. Let's go. So right now the PE is trading close to 200. That's absolutely crazy. Most likely, year end, if we hit these numbers, we can see a PE of 150, and that's what I put here. With a PE of 150, we get a stock price of 100 and a market cap almost at $175 billion. Now, we're gonna use the same $10,000 investment method in 2022 like we did in Tesla here in BYD, but with a little kick because they do give dividends, 0.04%, I believe. Why pay dividend? Just reinvest it back in. Anyways, I added that here as well, and let's see what the total return will be at the end. In 2023, I gave it a PE of 125, and we get a stock price of 129 with a market cap almost at $223 billion. Our investment has now turned to almost $13,000, which is not bad. I mean, 30% increase in a single year. Sheesh. In 2024, I gave it a PE of 100, and this one gives a stock price of 141 bucks per share, with a market cap almost hitting $242 billion, and the investment that you put 10 grand is over 14,000. Not bad at all. In 2025, I gave it a PE of 90, which would give us a stock price of 192 bucks per share, and a market cap over $326 billion. Now your investment has jumped to over $19,000. That's a double. You've doubled your money within like 3 years. Crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Sheesh, BYD, you're doing some stuff there, my man. In 2026, I gave it a PE of 80 and we get 259 bucks per share with a market cap over $435 billion. And now your investment has turned to $26,000, almost $26,000. Sheesh. In 2027, I gave it a PE of 60, a big jump as you guys can see, and that's because I suspect Tesla's compact car will make a little dent in BYD, and as well as their growth is slowing down too. So a PE of 60, I think makes sense. But still, with that, you get a stock price of 275 with a market cap over $457 billion. Your investment now has gone over $27,000. Crazy. 2028, I gave it a PE of 50 and we get a stock price of 324 bucks per share with a market cap over $533 billion. Your investment now is almost almost at $33,000, man. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. 2029, I gave it a PE of 40 and we get a stock price of 340 and a total market cap over almost $555 billion. Your investment now is almost at $34,000. And in 2030, I gave it a PE of 30, which makes sense, by the way, because if they're just a car company and they don't do anything else other than sell cars, I think a PE of 30 makes sense. The only way if the PE goes higher is if they introduce other businesses or if they license out Tesla's FSD, then maybe it can probably be in the 35s, 40s, maybe in the 50s, depending on if customers really trust Chinese cars, because man, Chinese cars. Anyways, we get a total stock price of 335 bucks per share and a total market cap over $540 billion. Your investment has now turned from 10,000 to almost 33,000 and a half. Obviously add the dividend, it's only like 83 bucks. I mean, why put the dividend? Just reinvest it back in the company. Anyways, we get $33,500 in our initial investment from 10,000 to 30. I mean, that's crazy. That's about 336% increase. Crazy. You know what? Let's be more nice. Let's be more encouraging, and let's give it a PE of 35 rather than 30. Let's see what we get. Almost 40 grand. I mean, that's actually not bad. That's not bad. Almost a 4x your money, but you're still not beating Tesla. Tesla over 500%. And we capped it. Remember, we capped Tesla. So Tesla is still king, my boys. Tesla is still king. Let's go. But again, guys, please note this is only a prediction and a prediction only. If you guys are a BYD bull and you guys think Tesla is the worst, don't hate on me. Don't hate on this video. I'm just going based on what we have in terms of numbers. It's just a prediction. Nothing more, nothing less. This may not come true. Maybe BYD will surpass Tesla one day. Maybe not. Maybe it'll go bankrupt. Maybe Tesla will buy it. Nobody knows. But what we do know is that Tesla and BYD are great long-term investment holds. They're both going to give you phenomenal returns. And hey, they're the future. So why bet against the future? These two companies are something you don't want to bet against. But before I end off this video, I do want to make a point and a note. Tesla is still leading the electric vehicle market. Yes, we see that BYD has surpassed Tesla in their deliveries, but that's only half right. Tesla is full electrical vehicles, while BYD has hybrid there as well. So we can't really do that. It's not apples versus apples. We are doing apples versus maybe half an orange, half an apple. We can't do that when it comes to the EV market because hybrids are not full EVs. Heck, they're not even EVs. So how can you compare? You can't. Either way, if we look at the facts, hardcore facts, Tesla is leading. But wait until Q3, Q4 of Tesla. They're going to absolutely crush it. Absolutely crush it as well. BYD is going to crush it too, but I don't think they're going to crush it as Tesla. I mean, check it out. Q3 deliveries, that's my estimation for Q3 and Q4. I think Q4 is more of a shocker than Q3. But check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. And I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.